Bayern Munich are the reason I've always loved the Bundesliga growing up. Bayern Munich were the reason I've been thinking this is a farmers league. Okay, I don't care how strong your league is. If one guy wins it 10 times, I can't take you seriously. I'm sorry. Okay, even the EPL is almost turning into that for me, right? If City wins this year, I'm done. This is not competitive. I mean, I'm sorry. Like Klopp is running home right now because he can't beat this guy. You know.
Hello, people. Welcome to another episode of your podcast, our podcast, the Popular Side Podcast. He is Akin Adekeye. I'm Yinka Yusuf. Dude, how you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Traveled this weekend. What about you?
I worked this weekend. This is the repercussion of being out of office for a couple of days.
Yeah.
Post AFCON. Because I couldn't get a flight back on Monday. So I'm suffering for that a bit. But I can't complain.
Yeah. That's about to be my week, actually. I actually got called for jury duty for the first time ever for tomorrow. The good thing is they usually don't like lawyers on juries. So I think I'll show up in the morning and I'll get dismissed. That's what I'm hoping anyway. It could go really bad and they want me and then I'm stuck for a few weeks reporting every day. So
don't make yourself a hit-hole. Be a nice guy. I'm sure
I know. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes.
We'll see how that goes. So it's been an interesting week in sports. We had all the leagues, then we had Champions League, which interestingly, we've not had that since we started this podcast, so it's going to be fun. So we're going to start off with reviewing the week that has happened, and then we'll go into previewing the week that is coming up. That will take a large chunk of our time. Then we'll talk a bit about the new rule that was introduced or is about to be introduced, or test run, like a pilot run that will happen soon, which is the blue card, the same bin. We'll talk a bit about that. Is it a good idea? Is it a bad idea? We'll discuss that. We'll discuss that a bit. Then we have our hit segment, the Unpopular Opinion. So this time around, we decided to sit on the bench for this one and take someone's unpopular opinion and put him on blast. Asking, who are we talking about?
Rio Ferdinand, who actually we don't mind him. We didn't mind him as a player. I don't think we mind him necessarily as a pundit. I thought it was if not world class, close to world class player, at least as a young man. I don't think the end of his career went the way he would have liked, but it was a great player, and I've been okay with him as a pundit, but this one was interesting. So we'll see.
It was interesting. It was very interesting. And I love, anyway, when we get there, we'll talk about it. I love the way Laura, the BBC interviewer, the way she really, she set him up, right?
Who we love.
And he just, who we love. And he slid into it. He slid into it and he got caught like a deer in headlights. But anyway, we'll talk about that. So heading straight into it, the review of the week, we can start with the EPL. Had some interesting games. Akin, your take?
All right, so first, let's tell everyone when we're recording, right? So tonight is Monday night on the 19th of February. But this probably won't be released until, Tuesday night. We got to do post-production and all that. Okay, so I think we've gone a few weeks without really talking about my team, Arsenal. And I'm not one of those people who believes in jinxes or whatever. I'm not superstitious at all, right? But honestly, I've just found, even though Arsenal has been scoring goals like crazy, I've found other things more compelling. Last week, it was the two games that were happening in Spain and Germany. They were just more compelling to me, even though Arsenal pumped 6 past someone away. And even this weekend, even though Arsenal again went away, won 5-0 against Burnley, it didn't feel compelling to me. What was more compelling to me was what was going on with Bayern. Bayern again have now lost 3 in a row. And the one thing I love more than watching Arsenal or seeing Arsenal do well is seeing anyone connected to Spurs doing badly. So I'm like, this is amazing to me. Harry Kane shows up, and the team that has been winning for 10 years is not winning anymore. So I love it. So this was a great weekend for me.
Interesting. So let's take it in piecemeal. I know you don't like, or rather, we've not spoken about Arsenal in a while.
Yeah.
And it's intentional because we don't want people to label this an Arsenal podcast, because if you let us, we can go on and on about Arsenal for hours. Yeah.
This is true.
Which is true. But we need to talk about Arsenal. 21 goals in 5 games
in 2024. Yep.
In 2024 is something else. They've only, in the last 3 games, they've only considered 2 shots on target. Burnley didn't have any. Well, Burnley had one, right?
Burnley had a shot, but it wasn't on target. The keeper saved it, but it was technically not on target. It was from the corner. Kudus had a shot on target.
Yeah. And so that means in 3 games, right, they've only considered 2 shots on target. They have the highest goal difference in the league of plus 36.
Yeah.
I don't know whatever happened in Dubai, but I think Arsenal should be going to Dubai every weekend or every midweek. Whatever. It seems there's a Lazarus pit in Dubai that all of them just sat in for that 2-3 days, and they sank in and they just basked in his glory, and they came out like newborn babies.
Absolutely.
Even Havertz, that some people call donkey.
Is some people you?
No.
Yeah, you were not a fan. You were not a fan where Arsenal bought him.
It's the amount that I wasn't a fan of, not the player. Make that clear. If we had gotten Kai for 2025, I probably wouldn't mind, right? Okay. But I'm more than happy to still eat my words if he turns out a fantastic player. And I told you this, if you can get 70% or 80% of the Kai that we had at Leverkusen, then Arsenal have a bloody good player on their hands. Mm-hmm. He was a war beater at Leverkusen. I don't know what Chelsea did to him. Chelsea did what they did to John Mikel Obi, right? Yeah. Is exactly what they did to Kai Havertz.
And what they've done to many other players since John Mikel Obi, unfortunately. Yeah.
Absolutely. Right? So is looking a different player.
Yinka, I saw a stat. I didn't go back to watch it, but I saw someone say that Kai Havertz had a hand in all the 5 goals on Sunday. Is that true? Or was it Saturday? When did Arsenal play? Saturday.
It was on Saturday. Yeah. Yes, he was involved in the build-up for all the goals.
For all 5 goals. Right? That's amazing.
So having a hand in it is you stretching too much. But yes, he was involved in the build-up of all the goals. He scored 1, assisted on the penalty, and he had a deflected toe poke for the 4th, which was eventually scored by what's his name? Leandro Trossard. Yeah.
Trossard. Yeah.
So Havertz had a fantastic game. Arsenal look like they can beat anybody right now. But we'll talk about the run-in, the games that are coming up. So let's quickly flip to City Chelsea, which was an interesting game. What was your take on it?
So, one, if Chelsea had a finisher, that game would have been put away in the first half, right? Before the onslaught came from City, before City woke up. And when City are on form like that, like they were in the last, 20, 25 minutes? At one point, it was 91% possession. They're unstoppable. Yeah. They weren't finishing, but it was an onslaught. There was no way Chelsea was going to stop them. But all Chelsea had to do, Chelsea did everything possible not to score. Even the goal that Sterling scored, his first touch was horrible. You know what I mean? Horrible. If Chelsea had a better defender on him, they would have taken that chance away from him. But if City had a better defender on him, but Walker didn't cover himself in glory on that play. So, but great goal for him. Good, he goes, he's playing against his old team who summarily dismissed him. He gets his goal. I'm happy for him. 1-1 is good for Liverpool. 1-1 is good for Arsenal, obviously. Yep. But if we're being honest, everyone who watches the EPL is expecting City to win all of their remaining matches. Let's just be honest, right? Until they prove otherwise, that's what we expect. They're the only ones who have ever done it. They're the only ones who do it. They do it every year. They just did it last year. You can argue they're better this year. So that's my take on it.
Yeah. So for me, I look at it as that was a point won by City as against them dropping 2 points. You get what I mean?
I get it, because they almost lost and they should have lost. Yeah.
They should have lost that game.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson, or what's his name?
Nico Jackson.
Oh God. Come on, man.
Senegalese brother.
Oh God. He first touch. You thought Ryan Sterling's first touch was horrible. His first touch was disastrous.
It kicked his own heel. I'm like, how is this possible? Like, it was easier to score than to miss.
Absolutely. I think that was the chance in the first half, right?
That was the first half.
That the pull-out came. If he could just hit it once.
That's it.
I was screaming at the TV, hit it. And the guy just controlled the ball and was trying to,
He somehow touched the ball with both feet, somehow, on that play. Like, how is this possible? It's a little rusty right now.
That never happened, right?
Yeah.
If that was, let's say, Gabriel Jesus or an Eddie Nketiah, I won't hear the last of that. Those were three clear-cut chances with issues buried. And I see this often, but it gets masked constantly with the fact that he scores. And it is the fact that City creates so many chances for him, right? So his lack of concentration at times or lack of finishing at times is not as amplified as for other people. Some other people only have one chance, right? And they miss that one chance, and the whole world is on them.
I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, I'm glad you brought it up, because if you look at this kid, the Chelsea kid on loan at Burnley, is it Fofana?
Fofana.
Yeah, yes. Fofana. So that's one guy. That's for me. That's a great example, right? When they played Liverpool, 2 weeks ago, when they played Liverpool, this kid had like 2 chances he should have buried, right? He missed it. Liverpool comes back, they win 3-1 or whatever. It's forever seared on my mind now that this kid is not a great finisher. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not the only one. When he showed up against Arsenal, it's obvious that Gabriel Magalhaes of Arsenal was like, this kid is not going to revive his career against me. Like, he went out and bullied him. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
He pulled him down. He pushed him around. So, if you're playing at Burnley, you only get 1 or 2, if you're lucky, 3 chances. If you're at City, you might get 7. But people only remember the ones you bury, and that's just how it goes.
And to be fair to Haaland, he buried it at a high clip, right?
Absolutely.
But it then also masks those glaring misses that, he should have probably scored 2 or 3 against Chelsea.
But all of this is happening a week after, they were 0-0 against Everton in the first half. 0-0 after 60 minutes, 0-0 after 70 minutes, and it still ends up scoring 2. So, we're saying all this right now. It could score a hat-trick in midweek. This is what he does.
Yeah, and they're home to Brentford, I think.
On Tuesday or Wednesday, yeah.
My money is on him probably scoring 3 or 4 in that game.
This is their game in hand. So this is their game in hand from the World Club Cup. So,
absolutely. Yeah. So quickly talk about Liverpool. Liverpool won, but the injury list it just looks like a revolving door at this point.
Yeah.
Right? It's like once someone is going out, another person is going in. So I understand Salah is back. Salah played and he scored.
Jota is injured. Yeah.
Jota is injured. Jones is injured, and I just saw this evening that Salah has re-aggravated his thigh injury.
Oh wow.
So he might not actually play on Wednesday.
Wow.
That's another thing. I'm surprised they have a game on Wednesday because
why do they need a game on Wednesday? They have to play the final. They have to play a final Carabao Cup. So
on Saturday?
No. I'm saying there will be a weekend where they're playing a Carabao Cup final in February. It's in February.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. And they're running out of weekends, I guess. So I guess this will be the Carabao Cup makeup. Would be my guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we look at the running for these 3 guys, yeah?
Oh, let's do that. I have that here somewhere.
It's interesting, yeah?
Yeah.
So City play their game in hand home to Brentford during the week, right? Then Liverpool have Luton home, Forest away, City home, Everton away, Brighton home, Sheffield United home, United away, Palace home, Fulham away, West Ham away, Tottenham home, Villa away, and Wolves at home. That's Liverpool. In there, the potential banana peel for them will be City at home.
Obviously,
I don't want to say United away, but let's just say United away. Okay.
United have been winning. They've been winning games they have no business winning. Onana, I mean, I'm gonna regret saying this, but Onana is stabilizing, is making fewer mistakes. He's actually keeping clean sheets. I think is number 2 in clean sheets, believe it or not, after this weekend. Don't look now, but man, you might be coming.
I'm not interested in United's running. There's nothing they can do. They're not getting into the top 3. I don't know why we're talking about this. Some of our friends will read this or listen to this, and they want to have my head. Frankly, I don't care.
I need those friends to know I'm the fair one, right? You're the biased one, okay? So now we know.
Fine, I agree. So United away, right? Tottenham home, and Villa away. So I think the 4 games in there for Liverpool that you will expect. Okay, those might be the tough ones. So if I go to City, so you have Brentford home, Bournemouth away, United home, Liverpool away, Brighton away, Arsenal home. So for me, that's the problem. See those 5 games, they follow each other. It's United at home, Liverpool away, Brighton away, Arsenal at home, Villa at home.
And Champions League. And there's Champions League while all that is going on.
In between. Yeah, exactly. Those 5 games will determine who wins this league.
I agree. I absolutely agree. But even if you jump past that, they have to go to Tottenham. And they never beat Tottenham. They never beat. For some reason, Tottenham don't know anything about football, but they beat City. It's the craziest thing.
Oh, they don't lose to City. Let's put it that way.
Oh, they don't, exactly. Yeah, there's always a 2-2 draw every year. Every year there's a 2-2 draw.
2-2 draw and a win. Yeah.
And a win.
And Spain just turns into prime R9.
I know.
And is either finessing shots from 20 yards or Trivela from 35 yards, and he's just scoring crazy goals against.
And they don't win late. They win early. They wrap it up early, and City can't do anything about it. It's the most bizarre shit.
Then they go play Wolves and they lose.
Of course. Yeah.
That's first for you. Then for Arsenal, it's
Lord.
It's Newcastle home, Sheffield United away, Brentford home, Chelsea home, City away, Luton home, Brighton away, Villa home, Wolves away, Tottenham away, Bournemouth home, United away, and Everton home. So United away, City away, Chelsea home.
Yeah, that's tough. Chelsea away was tough. Chelsea away was really tough.
It was really tough. Chelsea could have won that game, yeah.
Chelsea should have won that game.
So that's 4 games for Arsenal that I believe, those are the banana peels for them. So if you weigh it seems City have the tougher running.
I think City have the tougher half running, the first half of the running.
Yeah, you got
it. I think Arsenal have the tougher running if you're counting all 12 games remaining, right?
Yeah.
The one upside for Arsenal is they have one more home game than away game, right? But technically, that home game is Newcastle, if you think about it. So there's a lot of bad blood. The one thing I will say in mitigation for Arsenal is conventional wisdom was like Arsenal needs a number 9, right?
Yeah.
Arsenal have now exploded so their number 9 scored 1 goal and made another against Forest, and then it got injured. Since then, Arsenal have now scored 11 goals in 2 games without a number 9, right? Yeah. So, and how have they done it? They've played 2 midfielders / wingers alternating the false 9. That's Havertz and Trossard. When they start the game, you don't know who is at false 9. You don't know who is at left 8. When they end the game, you don't know either. I'm sure someone would do the heat map, and it's somewhere they just split it. And this is what I think you and I said this on a pilot episode, that I would rather have a winger, honestly, than have a number 9, because this is just the way Arsenal play. And this season, Arsenal's top striker is the dead ball, is the corner kick.
Yeah.
Arsenal have scored more goals from corner kicks than Bukayo Saka has scored for them. So that's just how it is. So there's more than one ways to do this. Yeah.
So I'm not sure if this was intentional by Arteta or he stumbled on it, because he had tried this at the beginning of the season and it didn't work. The Fulham game at home, it was Trossard up front, Kai behind him. The same formation that we're playing now.
Yeah,
it was a disaster.
It failed spectacularly.
Woefully,
yeah.
Right? But all of a sudden, in the game, in the West Ham game, it clicked. And West Ham were very confused. And I think it's because Kai is a lot more comfortable and is getting his confidence.
Absolutely.
Because at every point in time, when there's a ball to be pulled into the box, you had Kai and Trossard in the box.
Absolutely. So what I would say is, I think if you go back to what was the intention at the beginning of the season, and how do you know that? You go back to the first game of the season, technically preseason, the Community Shield. It was Kai up front, right? And you had Rice and Partey playing together.
Was it Partey or Jorginho? I can't remember.
Oh no, Partey played. Yeah.
Okay.
So once Partey was out of the equation, it threw everything off. So kudos to Rice that it was good enough, to just run that midfield by himself, right? But it messed everything else up. So now you no longer had the false 9 option with Kai. You had to play him at lefty. ESR was not healthy enough to play. Vieira was not, good enough to play. So, and then once you have a whole, and then everyone decided to be off form at the same time. Captain was off form, Saka was off form, Martinelli was off form. So I think it was just a confluence of issues all happening at the same time.
And they went to Dubai. And
then they went to Dubai. They went to Dubai.
And they took themselves in Lazarus pit, and now they're
there. You go.
Anyway.
And they went to, and Arteta went to Salt Bay's restaurants, and everything was okay.
Yeah, and he went to sprinkle some salt on his life.
Salt,
on his life. Anyway, so enough of the EPL. Let's head on to the Bundesliga. Me. My favorite league, but I'll let
me. I have to take this one, Inka. I have to take. I have been so excited to talk to you about this. I don't remember the last time I enjoyed. Oh my God, I don't remember the last time.
I put my hand and I watched.
I don't remember the last time I enjoyed a game as much as I enjoyed. So let me just set it up. Bochum.
Okay.
All right. I hope I'm saying this right, German speakers.
Yep,
Bochum,
you are.
They were struggling. Okay. They are still struggling. Okay. We're talking relegation form. Okay. We're talking small team. Okay. Really nothing to see here, right? Bayern Munich are the reason. I've always loved the Bundesliga growing up. Bayern Munich were the reason I've been thinking this is a farmers league. Okay, I don't care how strong your league is. If one guy wins it 10 times, I can't take you seriously. I'm sorry. Okay, even the EPL is almost turning into that for me, right? If City wins this year, I'm done. This is not competitive. I mean, I'm sorry. Like Klopp is running home right now because he can't beat this guy. Anyway, let me calm down. So let me go back to this Bochum game. All right. So I'm watching this. I'm like, how is this happening? One, why is Thomas Müller starting in the Bundesliga? This is not the finals of the Champions League where, you need this tactical nous or whatever. This is a league where grown men are fighting for a paycheck. And you bring the 58-year-old guy, like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? And I look at Musiala. I'm like, this kid may be the most talented young kid in the world. Like, I love Bukayo Saka to death. But Musiala is the most balanced young kid I've seen in a while. His left foot, his right foot, his body. Even the goal. I saw that goal. I'm like, the miss was better than the actual goal. I'm like, this kid is beautiful, right? But the team isn't built around him. When you have a gem like this on your hands, what is Thomas Müller doing on this team? You know? So I'm losing my mind. I'm watching this thing and I'm losing my mind. And I'm like, the only time you see Harry Kane is when he misses. Like, I'm like, okay, this is good for me. This is beautiful for me. Like, I love it. But at the end of the game, they've lost 3-2. It really should have been 3-1. They just gave them that 2 at the end. You know, Asano, oh my God, that was a beautiful goal from Asano.
Ex-Arsenal player.
You know, Goretzka did the best he could to hold that midfield by himself, but it's just one man. You know what I mean? It's just one man. And what you could see was the hustle from Bochum compared to the lack of hustle from Bayern. And I'm like, they're over here playing luxury football, thinking all this grown men who came here to get a paycheck just came here to play. I'm like, what are you doing? You know? So anyway, I've never been happier to watch someone fail. And this is not me. This is not usually me.
This is me. I'll say with my food test, the Kane curse is real, my people.
I'm sure Ken is a wonderful family man. I'm sure his wife and kids love him very much. I apologize in advance, but I really love to see him struggle. I love him to be the reason that, you know, these guys are going to go home trophyless this season. Last season, they should have gone home trophyless, but, you know, my favorite German club, Dortmund, decided they don't like winning, you know, so they gave it to them on the last day of the season. I don't think Bayer Leverkusen is going to do that this year. Okay, now I'm done, Yinka. I'm done. Thank you for indulging me.
You missed out on a couple of things, and I'll bring your attention to it.
Tell me.
Number one, the donkey of the day or donkey of the week goes to Dayo Upamecano.
Oh, Second red card. Oh my. Okay. All right. So one, I got to give you your credit. You have never thought he was a good player. Okay. I fell for the big name. No, I fell for the big name. I love French players, as you know, and I love athletic, big, you know, gangling French defenders, right? You told me years ago he wasn't good enough. You told me before the World Cup he wasn't good enough. I should have listened. I was wrong. You were right. That's now 2 games in a row. The first one, I would say, okay, maybe it was unfortunate, whatever. But this one, you came in as a sub. Son, you didn't even start the game. You give up a penalty and you get a red card. You got 2 yellows, penalty. Oh.
It was like an invisible sun that struck him.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry, but come on, you get
this. It's not world class. It's not. But you know, I saw. You know, I don't want to plug rival outlets on here since we're trying to build. But someone on ESPN, from now on, we just call them the 4 letters. Someone on the 4 letters, you know, mentioned this. I was like, you know what? Sometimes when you have the physical tools as a defender, you miss steps and you don't learn the basics. You know, as a young defender, and that's why Saliba is great. You know, because he doesn't do that. He didn't skip steps.
So I think you said it that we've discussed this before. I still don't understand how he's starting ahead of Saliba in the French national team.
Pedigree.
So guys, this is not because you have 2 red cards. I've been saying this for 20 years.
Yeah, you said it before the last World Cup. You said it before the Euros. Yeah.
Exactly. This guy is overrated. He's good, but he's not better than Saliba. It's not even close. Yeah. So he's going to go on 2 weeks or 3 weeks holiday right now. He's not even near the team. Yeah, you know, so he's off on Champions League. He's off for the league for 2 games. So he has like 3 weeks of nothing to do, so he can just chill. Probably go to Dubai and sink himself in the Lazarus pit.
No, he needs to go to Salt Bay's restaurant and get some salt sprinkled on.
So the Kane curse is real, folks. It's very real. So don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Because there is no way Kane will win the highest goal scorer and still not win a trophy as in a championship.
Yeah.
This is madness. right?
Have they won 9 straight or 10 straight, Yinka?
Now
Doesn't
they're
even
8
matter.
points behind Leverkusen.
That's
8 good
crazy.
points, right? And I don't see this Leverkusen team letting off, right?
No.
They don't have a superstar. They play for each other. You just look at I didn't watch the last game, but you look at the score sheet and you see Frimpong scoring and another Grimaldo or so. The goals are just scattered everywhere. We all thought it was Victor Boniface, the Nigerian striker.
Oh, he scored. He scored this weekend. He's back now.
Oh, he's back now and he scored this weekend.
Back now. He scored this weekend, yeah.
But he's been out for a while. And they didn't miss a start. They just kept on, churning out the wins, tough games. They stay resilient. They turn out the draws. And I think it's cuttings in Bundesliga, frankly. I think Leverkusen is going to win. Moving on to Serie A.
Hold on. Can I pile on before? I think Bayern are now closer to third than they are to first. I don't have the table in front of me, but I think they have 50 points. Yeah, I think third is on 46.
You're not a nice person at all.
I think he's on 46 and Leverkusen on 58. So don't look now, but they may finish third.
You're not a nice person. Okay. Well, I'll let that sink in. We'll move on. So going to the Serie A, Juve, another away draw. Inter won convincingly at home. They're now 9 points ahead, and they still have a game in hand, I think. So it's over in Serie A. Inter's trophy. Same thing with Ligue 1. PSG won again. Now they're 14 points clear. So I don't think we don't need to sweat about it. If I were to be Luis Enrique, every league game I'm going to bench Mbappe since he said he's leaving, right? And we'll talk about Mbappe shortly. If he said he's leaving, right? That's it. I'll let him go. Just play the Champions League for me. Leave the leagues. Don't enjoy yourself. Don't do anything stupid. Yeah. So that's League 1. La Liga, Madrid dropped points.
Oh They went to Rio. So for people who don't watch La Liga, the Rio Stadium is like one of those typical old English stadiums where everybody's on top of you.
It's like Onikon Stadium.
It's like Onikon Stadium in Lagos. It's there's people's houses in the background and whatnot. Camavinga. Did he do Upamecano, a little bit of Upamecano this weekend? Was a little bit?
You can't blame him. He's not a defender, so he keeps getting played out of position. So he gets a pass for me. And I love utility players. I love Swiss knife players, right? Players that can fit it. At the time, one of my favorite Super Eagles players was Mr. Garba Lawal. Please put some respect on his name. It's Mr. Garba Lawal. Even FIFA acknowledges that it is Mr. Garba Lawal. Garba Lawal will play almost everywhere, and he never complained. And that is what Camavinga is turning to. Or even when he put him in his normal central midfield position, he puts in an A-star performance. Lovely guy, and he's 20-something. Right?
Yeah. He's a young, I think it's 22 now. For me, because defense is the hardest position to play as a young person, in my opinion. And when you're not a specialist defender and you can do a decent job at that position at that young age, I think you deserve some credit.
Absolutely. So Madrid dropped points, but your Girona, instead of them to capitalize, they lost this evening.
No,
so they lost 3-2. I was actually watching the game earlier on, but I didn't finish it. Barca won. Luckily, Lewandowski had a last-minute penalty. He stuttered. The keeper saved it, but they said the keeper stepped off the line, so they had to retake the penalty. Then he stuttered again, and he barely put it in the back of the net. But Barca won, right?
Yeah.
But it's still 6 points. Madrid are ahead 6 points. They're still 8 clear of Barca. I don't think Madrid is going to let off. I think Madrid wins that. Yeah.
My Girona dreams are dead. They're not going to win.
They're dead.
Real will take it, and then they'll add Mbappe next season, and they'll win the Champions League next season. I don't think they'll win the Champions League this season. but
it's game over.
Yeah.
If Mbappe gets there next season, it's game over. We'll talk about Mbappe briefly. So UCL review and preview. The first leg games, City away to Copenhagen, they won 3-1. Madrid away to Leipzig, Madrid won 1-0. Leipzig scored a goal in the first half of that game. I still don't know why that game was chopped off.
I don't know either. I don't know.
Because the linesman said, or the assistant ref said it was offside. And immediately they showed the replay. I was like, no, he's not offside. Then next thing, VAR checked and they said, it's fine. I'm like, what fine? They should come and take lessons from the African refs. Everybody in Europe, come and line up, and if you do a seminar for them, we can hold it in Lagos and let all the refs come and learn from the African refs. The best refereeing I've seen in a long time was at AFCON.
And the VAR too. It wasn't just not just the refs.
Collectively. The whole refereeing ecosystem. The refs on the pitch, the VAR checked what VAR was supposed to check. VAR did not intervene when they were not supposed to intervene, right? The only blemish that I had was that incident where the ref pushed the player, and they can argue the ref was defending himself and the player was
provoked.
Exactly. Other than that, the refereeing was perfect. Europe needs to come and learn from us. PSG won 2-0 Sociedad. Mbappe had a good game. Then your favorite team, and went to Lazio, a struggling Lazio for that matter. A struggling Lazio, right? That my oh God, this is crazy. So my kids play FC24, the computer game. So there is this Kimmich SBC. A lot of our gamers will understand this. That
I'm not a gamer. We're going.
People were excited about that. Oh, Kimmich is a 90 rated player. If Bayern wins, he'll get to 94, 95. First huddle, Bayern lose. And my sons are like, Dad, what's this? Why would Bayern lose to Lazio? I said, well, it's the Kane curse, my children.
Yeah.
It's the Kane curse, right? It's
Everything went to Bayern and everything went
belly up. Anyway, so the previews for the games happening tomorrow and Wednesday. So it's Inter Atletico Madrid. That's going to be a very, very interesting
tough one.
Game.
That's a very unfair matchup at this first stage, in my opinion.
Exactly.
But
you can't have that and now have PSV Dortmund. It could have been Inter PSV Madrid Dortmund. You don't give us
frankly, Copenhagen against the defending champions. Come on now. Test City a little bit. Just test them, Don't make everything so easy for them.
It's ridiculous. But I'm looking forward to this one. This is going to be a very, very good game. Right?
That will be a cracker.
It'll be a cracker. PSV Dortmund, I'll probably just follow on one of these sporting apps. I'm not watching that one.
So here's what I would say. I would say after watching PSV in the group stages, because I don't follow the Eredivisie, so they were doing really, really well. During the group stages, they were doing really well in their league. I haven't followed. Let's assume they're still doing well.
Yeah.
Dortmund have the DNA, and we know they have the players. What they don't have is the will to be great. So that could be, because that's anyone's matchup. That could be the matchup of this round. Because it easily could be a 5-4 aggregate because neither team plays defense.
They don't. Yeah, absolutely right. They don't. Let's see how you can play. If you think you can score, I can score more than you.
Yep.
That's how it's going to be. Then we have Porto now. Interesting one. Arsenal's away from. Let's see if they maintain that. But what I know is that Porto lineup is filled with skillful Brazilians in their front line. They have like 4 Brazilians that were plucked from obscurity in Brazilian league, and those guys are ballers, right? So this might be a slippery one for Arsenal if they're not careful. Yeah, it might be.
So one, I don't watch the whatever the Portuguese league is called. What is it called? League La Liga, I guess. Whatever it is. I don't watch
La Liga too.
Yeah. I don't watch. How many things can you watch? You know what I mean? Like I don't watch them, so I don't know anything about them.
I watch highlights sometimes.
You watch everything, though. I'm not you. You know.
we probably to talk about that on one of these episodes. People can know the extent of what I watch. Yesterday, I watched Bendel Insurance versus Sporting Lagos.
Oh my goodness! So that's one, right? Number two, if you watch that match, that Porto Arsenal, you're watching the preview of Chelsea's front line next year because you know they're just gonna go buy those 4 Brazilians and just talk to them.
And buy them 20-year contract.
You know, I flush out all the Nicholas Jacksons of the world. You know, hey, I'm just kidding, Chelsea people. Nobody cares about you. All right, so I think Arteta has a point to prove. Yes, let's just call it what it is. He's failed in Europe, right? He's lost to his predecessor, which for me is unforgivable. You know, the man who was fired for you to come in and get your first job. You know, he disgraced you in Europe. You can't have that. He's lost to, I believe, Olympiacos was under his watch, not under Emery.
Yeah,
it was under his watch.
Last season, he lost to Sporting Lisbon.
Yeah, so I'm sorry. I watched that Sporting Lisbon one in a pub in London, and I've never felt so alone in my life. that was really bad. So Arteta has
quick one before we move on. I think that game was the game where Arteta said, "I'm buying Raya."
Interesting. Say more.
Because what's his name? Ramsdale had no business, right? Considering the way he did in that game. He didn't. And the way it seems to me is like he's been told, stay calm, right? There's no need wandering off your line unnecessarily. Be present. Be part of the game. And when that happened, the camera panned to Arteta and you could see that.
I saw that. The disappointment.
That's it. I'm done with this dude. I'm done. Wow. It's brilliant on his day, and we need a bit of discipline, right? And you need a goalkeeper that you know what you will get, not the kind that on one day is A-star and another day you're like, dude, are you okay? Yeah. You know, so it's interesting. But I think Arsenal will win. Yeah,
they should.
Over both legs.
They should.
But we'll see how it goes. Then Napoli-Barca, which is the final game.
I think Napoli is going to go through on that one. What do you think?
Not the Napoli that. Napoli's been playing rubbish. They lost. They lost
I understand. Last week. But there's something broken.
Been playing rubbish.
That's what I'm saying.
This is a game of rubbish.
There's something broken in this year's Barcelona. There's something really broken. So, I mean, if this group had done it before, I would say, hey, there's some Champions League DNA there that you can harken back to. But they've never done it before together. You know what I mean? So it's not like the Champions League triumphs of old can come back, you know, in your muscle memory or anything like that. So I think Napoli have something to prove after flaming out last season. They will be my choice over two legs.
Yeah, if Osimhen plays, probably. I think his hustle might just be too much for the Barca defense.
They're laid back. It's not really.
That's if you have any defense in Barca anyway. Yeah. You know. So it's gonna be an interesting one. You might be right. Maybe Napoli might nick it. But we'll see. We'll see. So let's quickly talk about Mbappe and the surprise that he gave us, right? As if we didn't see that coming. So Mbappe more or less came out and said, "I'm leaving PSG. I'm leaving as a free agent. PSG is going to be saving 200 million euros or pounds. I can't remember the currency.
200 million euros.
200 million euros. And they said we already have the list of players we're going after. We're going after a world-class defender, midfielder, and striker, and then we'll invest in youth, right? Anybody that knows the Paris football circuit, Paris is, if you're talking of talent in world football, right? I don't know whatever it is that they're doing in Paris. Trust me, every other country should go to Paris and go learn how to build an academy. So what these guys do is they get young boys, they get footballing minds, astute coaches, and they get them to train these young boys at that small age until they are 14, 15. So like 15, you have a pool of super talented players, right? That's what happens in Paris. But Paris Saint-Germain, they're on top of the food chain, but they've not been benefiting from this.
They haven't, because they've been chasing world-class, stars. Yeah.
So Mbappe, for example, grew up in Paris, had to go to Monaco. Now they now have to pay to bring him back. And everybody, Henri too said the same thing. Henri said,
I saw that.
In the streets of Paris, I have to go to Monaco, right? It's like PSG just don't look in. They would rather look out and go get, superstars to come and play for them, right? So what do you think is going to happen to Mbappe? Is it a slam dunk? Is going to Madrid? Or do you think Liverpool and Arsenal have a hope of putting it?
The money is obscene. It gets to a point where the money is just too much. I mean, we're talking Cristiano Ronaldo or Leo Messi money, but they were making that kind of money in their late 20s, early 30s when they became institutions on their own, right? Mbappe has been making this money since he was like 22. He's 25 now, right? So the kind of money he's on, anyone who tries to sign him is going to get into FFP trouble. You know what I mean? So, but we know the rules are different for Real Madrid. So I can't see anyone else doing it.
I like what Arteta said, right? So Arteta said that if a player in the caliber of Mbappe is available, it will be stupid, quote unquote, stupid of them not to pitch in their hat, to say, guys, what do you think about us? And I think this is the same thing everybody's doing. I think everybody, even Enyimba, man. But you get what I mean. Everybody's saying this is the best we can offer you, right? And it's up to him to now say, you know what, that's what I'm going for. Because I understand Madrid, the money that they're offering him is now way lower than what they offered him a year ago, right?
Oof.
And it's way, way lower than what he's earning at PSG. So he is definitely going to get a pay cut. Yeah, he has to take a pay cut. That's guaranteed. Now, so if you take money out of the equation, Akin, in terms of footballing projects, who do you think can compete with Madrid?
Okay, no one in Italy, right? So there's, in my opinion, if we're just talking just the game, no one in Italy, no other team in France. It would never go anywhere else in France anyway. It doesn't make sense. So now we're looking at, it's not going to go to Bayern Munich. It's just, no, that's so we're really only talking Spain and England.
Not while Kane is there.
Right. So we're talking Spain and England, right? So in the days of Atletico out of nowhere buying, who did they buy that shocked us? Remind me. That's gone. That's not going to happen. So he's not going to Atletico. So it's really Barcelona or Real. So it's Barca or Real. We know his childhood, whatever dream was to go to Real. So I don't think he's going to go to Barca. And Barca don't have money anyway. So let's go to England, right? City can always do it. City have more players than anyone. They have more good players than anyone. They have more great players than anyone. They have more players than people want than anyone. So City could sell 3 defenders comfortably and offset their FFP burden. I see no reason. City is not talking right now, but I see no reason why they can't buy him. I see absolutely no reason why. They'll get rid of Bernardo Silva. They'll get rid of someone else. Walker is already old anyways, 33, 34. They can do this. All their high wage earners, they can totally do it. Arsenal is not going to do it. Let's be realistic. It's just, let's just be real. Liverpool, that's a pipe dream. No. Okay.
So
Go on.
let's look at it this way. So
Okay.
I get City, and what you're saying for City is probably applicable to every other person. So get rid of a couple of people, open up, quote unquote, cap space.
It's not the same.
Yeah. No, but hear me out. So City they've already broken their wage structure. I don't know how much Doku is on, but nobody else will pay Doku whatever City is paying.
That's
so
fair.
Even if you get rid of a Doku or whoever you're going to get rid of, right? You can't get rid of them at 100%. It's not going to be an outright sale. It's most likely going to be a loan, and the loanee or the loaning club, the club receiving the player will probably not take 100% of his salary. So for City to open up that cap space right now, they need to be getting rid of about 3 to 5 players.
I can do this for you very, very simply, right?
Okay.
Without chopping and changing too much. Let's just start from the back. They don't have to do anything with their goalkeeper, right? I'm sure it's it's probably the 10th highest paid player or even the 12th or whatever, right? You go to their defense, right? Every game they sit 2 to 3 really, really good defenders because they have so many. Okay? Yeah. So this is very simple. You get rid of Walker, one of the highest earners, right? He's 33 or 34 already. All right. What was the name of the French-Spanish guy? I forget his name.
No, he's gone already.
Did they sell him? Is he gone on loan or did they sell him?
No, they sold him to. I thought they sold him to Saudi League. He's in the Saudi League now.
Okay, so he's gone.
Emerick Laporte. It might have been a loan.
I think it was a loan, but we can check. We'll report back next week. Then John Stones, who doesn't play every week. Doesn't play every week. So that's already two big wage earners, right? And then you move into the midfield. Grealish is simple, right? It's been there. This is his 3rd season. He's really only played 1 full season. They already replaced him with Doku. I'm pretty sure Doku makes half of what Grealish makes. You're not really affecting City if you got rid of 2 defenders and Grealish. This is very easy for City. They have so many players. Yinka.
So I think what I'm saying is you're making it seem as if getting rid of these players is like just telling them, guy, pack your load. The boss is waiting for you outside. These guys are high earners.
I know.
Nobody is willing or will be willing. I've told you this 1,000,001 times. For a transfer to happen, 3 things need to happen. The club is willing to sell, the club is willing to buy, and the player is willing to go. If these 3 things don't happen, a transfer is not going to happen.
That's fair.
If Grealish says, I ain't going nowhere, I'm staying put, right? He might say that for different reasons. Number one, why would I go and take a pay cut elsewhere? No, I'm not interested in playing anymore.
Because you're not going to play here, son. Because you're not Mbappe. You're never going to be Mbappe. And I'm not moving you to the other wing.
And what will happen is we will tell you, then if that's the case, loan me out, right?
And they'll loan them to Chelsea.
When it happens, the clubs are smart now. The loaning club will tell you, I can only take 40% of his salary. I can only take 30% of his salary. You are the one that wants the loan. I didn't instigate it. So for that to happen, I think City will struggle, right? Because they're already paying their players. They're up there in terms of.
So I didn't finish the other side of my argument, right? You need a dumb club, as the contracting party, and we all have one. Chelsea is run by baseball people. Chelsea is run by baseball people who think they're smarter than everyone else, right? Chelsea probably have more players than anyone. Their players aren't worth anything because they're all terrible, right? So, and Chelsea's not going to be able to resist a Grealish. They're not.
They have to say that.
but I'm sorry. Where's the lie, though? What have I told any lies? I mean, like
two friends and a sibling that will come after you.
Yeah, I know.
What you just said now. I wouldn't want that. I'm saying more than that. I thought you were going to say the Saudi League will build them out. But now you said
Grealish is not going. Grealish wants to play in the Euros. Grealish wants to play in the World Cup. Is not going to Saudi. But Grealish would instantly be the best player at Chelsea. And that matters to him because the best time of his career was when he was the best player at Villa. So why would he not do it? He would absolutely do it. And they will inadvertently fund this for City. I mean, we're all just speculating. But
we're just speculating. So get this. We're just waiting here, right? It seems he'll most likely go to Madrid.
He'll go to Madrid.
But I think in terms of footballing projects and in terms of making the funds available to actually sign him on a weekly, on a considerable amount closer to whatever Real Madrid is going to pay him, I think Arsenal actually have the better opportunity to do that.
Okay, let's make the case.
Everybody's after Smith Rowe. Yeah, the ones that are saying I don't want to sell him.
Okay, yes, £40 million. You can't get 45 for him. He hasn't played in forever.
Crystal Palace is after Nketiah. Yeah, the one that said I don't want to sell
another 40 million. We're at 80 million now.
You can look at Partey and say, okay, guy, go to Saudi or go to Juve. Your call. The
20 million. Now we're at 100 million.
No, we're not buying from Chelsea. I mean, we're not buying from PSG. It's coming on a free. So add these people's weekly salaries. All the people that have added together now.
200, 100, so that's 300, and then ESR is about what, 50, 60. So let's say.
No, I think when he signed a new contract, he got a significant bump.
So let's say it's 85.
It's closer to Nketiah. Yeah, I don't know the actual amount, right?
Okay, so 400. Let's say 400 total.
So out of those three players, right? And you have so many other people on loan that you're still. The salaries are still on your Sambi Lokonga had a fantastic game yesterday, for example. Right? Arsenal is gonna get paid. He's moving this season, right? He's proving that he's a Premiership player. So you can actually make the funds available. And even if you need to do extra stuff, Arsenal just went to Dubai. Apart from the Lazarus pit and the Salt Bay thingy, right? They came back with a deal. From Dubai. Their training center was sold for, the naming rights was for £50 million per year. Was it 15 or 12? I can't remember, right? So I'm saying that is free £50 million that is footballing revenue that you can put towards the team. Yeah? So frankly, from a money standpoint, and that's not owned by a rich guy. Come on, let's be realistic.
So,
yeah?
All right, so I think you're crazy. I think you're crazy. I don't remember the last time someone chose Real Madrid over Arsenal. I get the why not us aspect of it all. I get it. But, I like to live in the real world. In the real world, I like my teams to show up, beat up on Man City, no excuses, right? That's what I want. Mm-hmm. I'm now waiting for Mbappe to come and save us. So I would not allow myself to get sucked into this thing you're talking about.
No. I'm not sucked in. I'm just saying if Madrid is option 1,
yeah,
I think option 2, right, will be Arsenal.
I think once Klopp left, the tiny possibility of Liverpool disappeared.
I don't think he's going to Liverpool. I don't think he'll go to Liverpool. Right?
But City is not talking. But trust me, City is a possibility.
I agree. City is always a possibility, right? Because they have 115 charges against them in FFP. They don't mind adding 1 or 2 more at this point. Let us let's pull out our cards in and see how it goes. Let's just talk about the blue card, good or bad idea, right?
Okay. You want to set it up? Yeah, you want to set it up? Tell us what it is, and then we'll go from there.
So recently, I think the footballing bodies came up with the idea that they would do a test run or a pilot run of the blue card or sim bin. So footballers could be shown blue card or sent to a sim bin for dissent and cynical fouls. They also said the blue card would result in a player being removed from the field of play for 10-15 minutes or so. I'm not too sure. And if a player returns from the same bin and receives another blue card, they can also then be shown a red card. and permanently distanced from the game. And also, there are all these permutation and combinations of you have one blue, one yellow. This is not replacing yellow or red card, by the way. It's a
separate card.
It's a separate card on its own, right? So a combination of a blue and yellow will make red, yeah. I think that's the whole structure of the blue card. So what do you think? Is it a good idea, a bad idea, or an ugly idea?
Okay, so it's an idea, right? And I get why they're thinking about it. I'll just tell you why it's not going to work, right? And I'll go back to, so this is our 4th episode. I believe we talked about VAR in was it our 2nd episode, I think?
Second episode, yeah.
Yeah. And it's the same problem. The quality of officiating is the problem, right?
Yeah.
So it's not the color of the card. It's not, the number of games players get suspended for, or in this situation, the number of minutes that you're sitting out.
Yeah.
So let me tell you what's going to happen, right? So now we're going to go from arguing whether a yellow should have been a red should have been a yellow, who missed the second yellow, who didn't send the central referee to the screen to check. Right now, VAR cannot check yellows, which is insane because, like I said on that episode, you can break someone's leg with a borderline yellow card tackle, right? VAR should check all tackles. It makes no sense that VAR only adjudicates when there's a red or when the referee misses a red. So we're going to transfer all that inefficiencies, all that incompetency. We're going to transfer it into the sin bin and the blue card. Nothing's going to change. We're just going to have more controversy. What are we doing?
Okay, it's a horrible idea. Ugly idea. Football does not need more rules. We have enough rules already. The rules that are there, you're struggling to uphold them. You're struggling to interpret them. Now you bring it. See, the idea of a blue card, it's so subjective. It's even more subjective than the yellow and the red card.
It is.
The refs are already struggling with subjectivity of the red and yellow card. You now want to add a blue card to it. Now you now see the ref now have 3 pockets: blue, yellow, red.
Yeah.
He wants to bring out blue. He brings out red. Oh, sorry. It's not red. It's come on, man. We need to fix the ones we already have. We need to fix the rules we already have. We don't need to add more to it. Refs are already struggling with the judgmental calls they have to make. Now you're adding more to it. It's complete nonsense. Right? And see, football is fine the way it is. I don't think the game needs to drastically change. Just tweak some things that you've not done properly. Not a sin bin, not a blue card. It's complete nonsense.
Yeah,
it's completely unnecessary.
For those who don't watch, I believe the sin bin thing comes from hockey. I think rugby may have something similar as well. But those are infinitely more physical and violent sports. There's a reason they do it. I don't see why this is called for in football. But you did mention something about rules, and that will lead me back to the Burnley Arsenal game and the Burnley defenders not knowing the rule that you cannot be offside from a throw-in. And that's how Arsenal scored their 5th goal with Kai Havertz.
And talk of rules. This is where coaching is. I don't know what coaches do. Look at the Super Bowl. Look at the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
They did not know that there's a new rule in overtime in playoff games.
I know.
And they had the audacity to come on TV and say, oh, we didn't know that there was a rule change. We won't have opted to play first.
And the guy who said it, I believe went to Harvard.
Oh, goodness.
I believe it did.
I think so. Two things there. Number one, the players not knowing. No, the coach is not telling the players is completely unacceptable. But as a player in a sport that you're making a living from, it will be your responsibility to know the rules of your sport. And so the coach and the players, the two of them slept in the same direction in a Super Bowl final.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, man. Come on, man.
It's
Anyway, we digress. Anyway, so that's it for Sim Bin. It should be in the bin.
It should be. It really should be.
Let's just end it there. Then let's quickly round up with a quick. We need to pile on someone. On our unpopular opinion this week, we decided to outsource our unpopular opinion to Rio Ferdinand, England international, fantastic player, love him. For me, it was a calm defender. He played with composure, which was quite unusual for English defenders. They love
in his day. Yeah, in his day. It was amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
He was bought for 35 million, transfer record in England from Leeds
to United, yeah.
Affected him when he got there, but he overcame. Love him. He's a good pundit also. But he said some things that we both looked at and were like,
Yeah, so let's set it up, right? So let's set it up. So obviously, Bukayo Saka has pretty much made the right side of the England attack his own, just as he has for Arsenal. The left side has been a problem, right? You have many options. Grealish can play there. Phil Foden can play there. My guy Rashford can play there, right? But it's obvious that Bukayo Saka's club and national team coaches, they have him pretty much has the first name on the team sheet, right? He's been England's player of the season 2 years in a row. National team player of the season 2 years in a row. So what does all this have to do with our man Rio Ferdinand? Rio said about Saka and Phil Foden that he doesn't think Bukayo Saka is world class, but he thinks Phil Foden is. And his backup for that was Phil has won a few trophies at Man City, right? And Bukayo hasn't. So Yinka and I have actually had the world-class argument before, along with other dear friends of ours, right? I tend to use the term a little less freely than Yinka does. In my opinion, you have to be almost one of one to be world-class, right? So, and I know it's really unfair to compare anyone to Ronaldo and Messi. So you throw out Ronaldo and Messi. I think there's maybe 15 world-class players still playing right now. Maybe fewer than that, right? I personally don't think Bukayo Saka is world-class today. And I say this as someone, if you've been following the social media, whatever, after playing 210 games for Arsenal, the man scored, I think it was 49 goals and 43 assists. Now that he's played this 211th, he scored 2 more goals. So with the 49 and 43, that was better than what Cristiano Ronaldo did after 210 games for Sporting Lisbon and Manchester United. I think it was 49 and 37 assists for Cristiano Ronaldo. So this is a big deal. This is someone who came up as a defender, all of that. So he's doing really well. But for me, when I think about a right-sided forward playing in the same league as Mohamed Salah, it's really hard for me to turn around and say he's world class when I see Salah do things that I know for a fact Saka cannot do. So that's argument number one. Argument number two, though, is Phil Foden is having a rich vein of form. That's all it is, right? He's having a nice couple games. No one has ever put the fate of Man City on Phil Foden. Saka has been carrying the burden of Arsenal pretty much since his second season started. You know what I mean? The weight of the world is on his shoulder. It breaks into England, and before you know it, he's pretty much the most important player for England. So to even compare the two of them is, I don't want to be offensive or whatever, it's a little dumb, right? So I can believe that Saka is not yet world class, but the comparison between he and Foden for me doesn't even. Foden doesn't have to do anything except show up and dance around and play on the best team in the world right now and score a bunch of goals. And yet Bukayo has better stats than him on top of all that. All right, I'm done. You go.
So the world-class discussion, right? I've come to realize that when people argue that someone is world-class or is not, it's more around you guys having differences in what is world-class or in your definition or explanation of world-class. So I consider world-class like a class of gifted students, gifted kids. That's what I consider world-class. You think within that gifted pool, give me the 5 best or the 2 best or the 3 best. That is world-class, right? So immediately we kind of aligned our definition of world-class. The argument died natural death. We more or less agreed with each other. So it's what I consider world-class. What you consider world-class, I would say that's world's best, right?
Okay.
But I'll give world-class a wider group of people, right? I know I started with a crazy number before, but I agree with you. Let's turn it down. I believe if you're top 2 in your position, even let's say top 3 in your position, right?
In the world.
Yeah,
that's fair.
The world.
That's fair.
You're world class, right? Yeah. But you think it's top 6 or 7 players that when you talk about.
Okay, 1 second. Okay, so I like top 2 or 3 with the caveat that sometimes, because of the accident of history and birthdays, you might not have anyone who's truly world class. So it's not just how are you in the present, it's also how are you compared to what we know was world class historically.
But I think you can only beat what's in front of you. That's what we say in football.
But you're also fighting against history, though. Because we know what we've seen. You know what I'm saying? We know what we've seen.
And I get that. And I agree with you. I think I agree with you on that. Right. Yeah. But in the current space that we find ourselves in, you can look at right backs right now and say you don't have. So I'm agreeing to your point. You can say we don't have a world class right back right now.
Because when you look back, Walker would qualify as one of the best, but it's not world class.
So, exactly. So in my opinion, I'll say Walker is one of the top 3 right backs in world football today. I would call him world class, but in your position, you're saying these top 3, they're not even good as they can't sniff Cafu's boots, for example.
There you go.
Exactly. And so I agree with you on that. So I think that is the same problem that is happening here, right? With respect to whether Phil Foden and Saka are world class. I think they are there. They're not world class yet. They're about to get there, right? There's more that's expected of both of them. But what was really interesting to me, right, is perception. And so the way the question was set up for Rio is Lauder said Phil Foden has 8 goals, 7 assists in 24 games, and Rio said, he's world class, right? Then Lauder said, but there's another player in England that has 12 goals, 7 assists in the same 24 game span, right? And Rio then says, Saka is not world class because he has not done it in a winning environment. And I'm like, just like you said, Foden might as well sit down, cross his leg, and be sipping tea in this Man City team. He wasn't responsible for. It's part of the team, but he's not the main player. Saka has been the main player for Arsenal since he was a toddler. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
He's carried the team, right? And even in that same English lineup, to tell you who is the better player or the more important player right now, right? In this lineup, the first name on that list, apart from Harry Kane, will probably be Bukayo Saka.
It's Bukayo Saka, absolutely.
But right now, Foden is still hopping around. Play central attacking midfield today. Play left side of. You understand? He's hopping around. He hasn't really nailed a position in the same national team as Bukayo Saka. So for Rio Ferdinand, if Phil Foden is world class, in your opinion, then Bukayo has to be world class.
Absolutely.
Right? You can't tell me Foden has anything that puts him ahead of Bukayo Saka.
I think if I could play a little bit of devil's advocate for Rio. Yeah. One, I think he was fighting with recency bias because Saka had been having, a pretty a rough patch, right? Just before the last couple of weeks when he just exploded and started scoring again, right? And Foden looks better on the eye when he plays, right?
That was going to be my next point.
He doesn't have the defensive responsibilities. Frankly, he doesn't have the playmaking responsibilities when he plays for City. All he has to do is, he just needs to show up to the 95th, percentile mark and just, 1-2, tap the ball in, done. Saka is the first person everybody looks for when they get the ball on Arsenal. You know what I mean? Is the ball carrier, is the guy who takes all the corner kicks, is the guy who, he right now, I think he has 12 goals, 11 assists in the league?
12 goals, 7 assists.
No, but in all competitions, I think it's something like...
competitions is like 15 goals, 11 assists.
Oh my goodness. I mean, it's ridiculous.
It is. And you hit the nail on the head, right? Eye test, right? In terms of skill, trust me, Foden is a fantastic footballer. He's actually more skillful than Bukayo. Right?
It's faster. It's faster than Bukayo.
Maybe not.
I think it's faster. Like just straight line running north-south, and it might be quicker. Going laterally. It might be quicker as well. Yeah.
But what is not in contention is he's more skillful than Bukayo is.
Absolutely.
Right? And I remember watching the Serie A while growing up. You had Zinedine Zidane, you had Francesco Totti. Zidane could do all the leg overs in this world. But Totti knew how to put the ball in the back of the net. Roma they were a nightmare because of Francesco Totti. And when people were comparing players, they were like, people were like, Zidane, you have the skill. Look at what Totti is doing. Look at his production. That is where you need to get to. While he was at Juve, Zidane never reached that level until he got to Madrid. That was when he combined his skill with production, right? But Totti had been producing from day one, bangers after bangers. He doesn't care about doing leg overs, dribbling 10 people. No, he just wants to put the ball in the back of the net. That is how I see. No, don't say I'm not comparing Foden and Zidane.
I know what you mean.
So, but that is the way I see it right now. Bukayo has more responsibilities. He's doing it. He's not flashy. Foden is. So if you look at him, you say, that guy is skill is not world class only. I get it. It's part of it. But if for Mr. Rio Ferdinand, if Bukayo is not world class, then Foden isn't. No, and if you think Foden is, Bukayo is. I think
his take was illogical, obviously. Yeah. But the funny thing is, even within Bukayo's team, you know what I mean? Like his captain has, probably better feet. Martinelli is faster.
Exactly.
Martinelli is a better finisher.
Exactly.
Trossard is the best finisher on the team. So Bukayo doesn't have the flash. What he does, he has the discipline. He has the balance. Is the strongest player the team has. You can't bring him down. He doesn't get injured. When he gets injured, he pops back up. And then he has the end product, which is really hard to do at this age. To have that kind of end product at this age is unbelievable.
And if he gets that right foot to a respectable level, it will open up another arm of his game that he himself will not believe that this was there before. Because look at that goal that he scored. The defender literally said, just go right.
Yeah.
The only goal. It was like, I give you right. Just go that way. Don't come to the left. It's good. So every time I'm watching, I'm like, take whatever the defender gives you. It will get to a point they will be confused. They will so fear you. They don't know what you will do. And at that point, you have them at your fingertips. You can do them anyhow you want, Anyway, so Mr. Ferdinand, Saka, if you think Foden is world class, then Saka is. If you think Foden isn't, then Saka isn't. You can't. I don't think you have enough to separate the two of them. Yeah?
It's really that simple.
It's really that simple. Anyway, guys, I think we've tried. We've exhausted our agenda. Thanks for hanging out with us. Listen to two silly boys from Kwara State talking football. Please like our videos on YouTube, subscribe, click on the notification bell. You can also check out our other social media platforms and follow us there. This will continue to be a weekly thing until whenever we believe we need to make it a bit more often. So please, we would really appreciate if you give us a like and a follow on all our social media platforms. Aki?
Yeah, this was fun. Thank you everyone for listening. Yinka, thank you. And we will see you next week. Goodbye.
We'll see you next week, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.